The moment aliens realized humanity was the galaxy's first power part 1. The vast silence of deep space broke when the Harmony's reach detected the strange signal coming from a quiet corner of the galaxy. Lyra stood on the bridge with her crystal skin glowing softly under the blue lights of the control panels. She was young for a Vexari diplomat, only 90 cycles old, but already chosen for first contact. Because of her sharp mind and calm heart, the signal was old and faint, yet it carried patterns no machine could fake. It spoke of life and thought and movement toward the stars. The galactic concord had waited many thousands of years for a new species to rise. Most arrived noisy and proud, flashing lights and weapons, or humble and scared, begging for protection. This signal felt different. It carried no fear and no boast, only steady purpose. Lyra ordered the ship to change course. The Harmony's reach turned smoothly, its long silver body cutting through the black like a needle. And seeking thread weeks past in folded space, the crew watched old records of past contacts, the insect-like Zethar, who joined with gifts of silk and songs, the tall, graceful Lumen, who taught light-bending arts, the armored Kragthar, who tested strength before trust. Every species brought something new. This time, the crew hoped for music or stories, or perhaps a new way to shape metal. None guessed what waited ahead. When the ship dropped back into normal space, the yellow star Sol burned bright ahead. A single blue world circled it close enough for life to thrive. Scans showed cities that sprawled wide oceans, that shimmered green forests and white clouds, thick atmosphere rich with oxygen and nitrogen. The readings matched many garden worlds, yet something felt off the signals from the surface. Mixed old radio waves with tight laser beams and quantum bursts. The patterns jumped and danced like thoughts that refused to stay still. Lyra opened a channel standard greeting in trade tongue she spoke. Slowly words formed by the conquered long ago welcome travelers from distant stars. We come in peace, seeking friendship and knowledge. The reply came fast, clear, and warm. A woman's voice answered in perfect trade tongue. Welcome to the Sol system. This is Admiral Reyes of United Earth Command. Please state your intent and origin. The bridge went quiet. Lyra felt her crystals shift color from calm blue to curious violet. No new species spoke trade tongue so soon. Most needed weeks of study this human. Bring no threat, only questions and offers bring no threat. Only questions and offers of exchange. Admiral Reyes laughed softly. The sound carried warmth, not mockery. She said, "We have heard of the Concord. Your stories reach even here. Please send your delegation to the surface. We have prepared a landing site in the Pacific Zone. Coordinates follow. Now." The data stream arrived clean and precise. No, the encryption, yet no tricks hidden inside. The shuttle left the Harmony's reach, carrying Lyra and 5 others, a cephalid scholar named Thulor, whose tentacles moved with slow grace, a Kragthar observer named Gorvath, whose heavy armor clanked with every step, 2 quiet engineers from the insect Zethar, and 1 Lumen scout who shimmered like living glass. They descended through thick air clouds, parted to show blue ocean and green islands. A wide platform rose from the water, smooth and white humans. They waited there dressed in simple uniforms, no visible weapons, yet eyes sharp and alert. Admiral Reyes stepped forward, tall with silver hair tied back and skin marked by years of sun. She wore no crown, no robe, only a dark jacket with small pins that caught the light. She extended a hand palm open. Lyra mirrored the gesture. Their skins touched one warm flesh, one cool crystal. The handshake felt strange, yet right. Reyes spoke again. "Welcome to Earth. We hope your journey was safe." Lyra nodded. "We." "Thank you for the welcome. Your world is beautiful and full of life. We have many questions if you will share your history, your path to the stars." Reyes smiled. "We have time for stories. Please come inside. We prepared food and rest. The group followed into a low building. Open walls let breeze flow through tables held fruits, bread, clear water, and strange steaming drinks. The smell was rich and new. They sat and talked for hours. Humans asked about the Concord worlds. Trade routes shared knowledge. Lyra-Kesh asked how long humans had traveled between stars. Reyes answered quietly. We reached other systems more than 400 years ago. We built slow at first, then faster. We learned to fold space not long after that. Lyra-Kesh felt surprise. 400 years was short. Most species needed thousands of cycles to master FTL. Yet these humans spoke of it like an old habit. Thulor asked about records, old writings or carvings. Reyes pointed to a screen on the wall. Images appeared, ancient stone, and tablets, faded metal plates, drawings of ships that looked simple yet strong. She said our oldest stories speak of looking up and dreaming, then building, then reaching. We never stopped. Thulor's tentacles curled in thought. He said, Your archives show no break, no dark age after collapse. Most young races fall, then climb again. You seem to have climbed without falling. Reyes looked at him for a long moment, then said, We fell, many times. We broke ourselves, rebuilt ourselves. Each time we learned, we kept going. Aye, that is our way, Gorvath grunted. His deep voice rumbled like distant thunder. So you claim strength without showing it, we Kragthar. Test newcomers with combat to know their heart. Will you allow such a test? Reyes met his gaze without blinking. She said, We do not fight for sport, or proof. We fight only when no other path remains. If you seek strength, look at our works, not our fists. Gorvath stared, then nodded slowly, respect in his eyes. As night fell, stars appeared bright above the platform. Lyra-Kesh walked outside with Reyes. They stood in silence, watching the sky. Reyes pointed to a faint band of light that crossed the heavens. She said, That is home. Too many worlds, many lives, we watch them grow. Lyra-Kesh asked, Do you claim them all? Reyes shook her head. No, we leave them free to choose their path. We learned long ago that chains breed hate. Freedom breeds friends. Lyra-Kesh felt a strange feeling rise inside her chest. Not fear exactly, more like standing at the edge of something vast and old. I die. Asked, How old is your people truly? Reyes turned her eyes soft yet steady. She said, Our kind walked upright. 200,000 years before we left this rock, we built cities, turned deserts, green tamed fire, then atoms, then stars. We are old enough to know patience. The words hung in the warm night air. Lyra-Kesh looked up at the stars again for the first time. She wondered if the Concord was truly the center of all things, or merely one small circle in a much larger pattern. She did not speak. The eye lies no hidden fleets, no traps. The humans lies no hidden fleets, no traps. The humans shared maps of nearby systems, offered trade in rare elements and knowledge of stable wormholes. Lyra-Kesh sat in her cabin reviewing the talks. Every word felt real, yet every fact felt impossible. A species so young spoke like ancients. A world so open hid such depth. She opened the ship's deep archive, a sealed file. Blinked, an old warning appeared, access restricted to elder rank. Only she entered her code. The file unfolded. One line caught her eye before the screen locked. The silent ones, they who seeded the spiral, then stepped back. The name meant nothing yet. It pulled at her like gravity. She closed the file, heart beating fast. The Harmony's reach prepared to leave Earth orbit. Admiral Reyes sent a final message. Safe travels, friends. The galaxy is large. Come back when you wish. We will be here. Lyra-Kesh replied. Thus we will return with more questions and perhaps answers of our own. As the ship jumped into folded space, Lyra-Kesh stood on the bridge watching Sol shrink behind them. She thought of the handshake, the laugh, the calm eyes of Admiral Reyes. She thought of the stars that waited ahead and the old name that waited in the dark archive. She did not know what came next, only that something had begun, something bigger than first contact, something older than the Concord itself. The journey home stretched long, and the crew spoke little, each lost in private wonder. The signal from Earth faded, yet its echo remained loud in their minds. Lyrakesh closed her eyes and saw again the blue world turning slow under yellow sun. She whispered to herself, one quiet word: humans, the moment aliens realized. Humanity was the galaxy's first power. The Harmony's reach returned to the heart of the Galactic Concord. After many long jumps through folded space, the great capital station orbited a massive gas giant. Its rings of crystal and metal glowed like a crown in the dark. Lyrakesh stepped off the shuttle, feeling the cool, recycled air of home. Yet her mind stayed far away, on the blue world called Earth, the handshake with Admiral Reyes, the calm laugh, the words about patience they all repeated inside her like a song she could not forget. The crew reported to the High Council first. The elders listened in silence, faces hidden behind light veils. Lyrakesh spoke last. She described the human welcome, the open archives, the odd casual mention of 400 years of star travel. The council murmured. Surprise rose among them, a young species with FTL. So soon no weapons shown, yet no fear shown. Either one elder, a tall lumen named Siravael, asked, do they hide power or truly lack it? Lyrakesh answered, I do not know, but their eyes hold age beyond their claimed years. After the report, the ship docked for deep scans and rest. Lyrakesh went straight to the archive vaults, deep below the station levels of sealed chambers held to records older than most living species. Thulor the cephalid scholar joined her. His tentacles moved slow and careful. As always, they carried high-clearance codes from the first contact mission. The vault door opened with a soft hiss, revealing rows of glowing data crystals, each one sealed with warnings in ancient scripts. Thulor touched the first crystal. A hologram appeared, faint and broken. It showed a star map from 40,000 cycles ago. The spiral arms looked the same, yet empty sectors blinked. And with red marks labeled Terran Dominion, the name meant nothing to them. Yet the scale shocked hundreds of systems marked, claimed then abandoned. No battle signs, no collapse signs, just empty. Thulor whispered, this matches nothing in open records. These are sealed files older than the Concord itself. They moved deeper. Lyrakesh found a second crystal labeled the Silent Wave. She activated it. The hologram grew clearer. Images of bipedal figures in heavy suits walked on alien worlds. They planted seeds. Shaped atmospheres built rings around stars, then left no trace. The voice-over spoke in lost tongue, yet translation came automatic long ago. Before light folded, a race rose. They tamed fire, then atoms, then void. They seeded life across the arm, then stepped back. The first wave ended not in fire, but in choice. They became the Silent Ones. Lyrakesh felt cold spread through her crystals. The images showed human faces clear and unchanged from those she met on Earth. Same bone shape, same eyes. Admiral Reyes. So could have stood in that ancient recording. Thulor's tentacles tightened. He said, if this is true, then humans are not new. They are the root. We grew from branches of their tree. They searched more crystals. One showed a battle long ago. A human fleet faced a rogue black hole tearing systems apart. The ships formed a net, pulled the singularity away with gravity anchors, then collapsed it into safe mass. The recording ended with the fleet vanishing into folded space. No victory claim, no parade, just duty. Done. Lyrakesh stared at the final frame, a single human ship drifting alone, its lights dim yet steady. She whispered they saved stars, then walked away. The elders called them back to council. Lyrakesh and Thulor presented the findings. The chamber filled with shocked silence. Then argument voices rose high. The Kragthar delegate Gorvath slammed his fist on the table. If they hold such power, Why hide? We must test them. Prove their strength or expose their lie. Sierra Vielle disagreed. No rush reveals. Weakness. We watch learn, offer friendship, first force breeds enemies. Lyra Kesh spoke, then her voice steady. We should return to Sol. Not as conquerors, but seekers ask for their old records share ours. See what they reveal. The council voted. Yes. A second mission formed, same team. Lyra Kesh, Thulor, Gorvath. The two Zethar engineers and the Lumen scout they carried gifts, rare crystals, songs of light data on shared physics. Nothing that threatened. The harmonies reach, jumped again, this time faster, eager the crew felt change in the air. No longer simple, first contact. Now a search for truth when they dropped near Sol Earth, waited same blue marble, same calm signals. Admiral Reyes answered the hail herself. Welcome back, friends. We expected you sooner. Come down. The same platform awaits. The shuttle landed under bright sun. Humans greeted them with smiles. No guards, no walls, just open hands. Reyes led them to a larger hall inside. Walls showed moving images of human history, caves with painted stars. Cities. They're rising from mud ships, leaving orbit colonies on red dust moons. Rings built in cold void. Lyra Kesh watched one scene, a fleet of simple craft facing a comet swarm. They turned the ice rocks into water for dry worlds, then left the job done. Reyes noticed her stare. She said, we always cleaned our messes. Sometimes the mess was big, sometimes small. We learned to fix before we broke more. Thulor asked, may we see your deepest archives, not the public ones, the true old ones? Reyes nodded without pause. Follow. Me they descended in a smooth lift, deep under a mountain. The air grew cool. Lights came on slow rows of stone tablets. Metal plates, crystal data cores filled the chamber. Reyes touched one wall. A hologram bloomed. It showed Earth from space. 200,000 years ago, tiny figures hunted, gathered, built fires. The timeline moved fast. Cities rose, fell, rose again. Plagues, wars, dark times. Then light again. Machines, thinking ships, stars, colonies. The line never broke, only bent. Gorvath growled. This, how cannot be. No species endures so long without fall. Reyes met his eyes. We fell many times. Each time we stood again. Stronger. We learned hate leads to ruin, so we chose patience. Gorvath stared, then looked away. Respect replacing anger. Lyra Kesh walked to a quiet corner. A small crystal glowed alone. She touched it. The image appeared humans on a garden world, not Earth. Another place they shaped it. Perfect. Then left a note in trade tongue for any who come after. Live, well, grow free. Remember us only as... Those who passed through, she felt tears form. Though Vexari did not cry, often. The words carried weight beyond metal and light. Thulor recorded everything, his tentacles shook slight. He whispered to Lyra Kesh, this changes all we thought ourselves old. We are children playing in their garden. Lyra Kesh nodded silent. She looked at Reyes, who stood calm, watching them. She asked, why show us this now? Reyes answered, because you asked truth. Hides nothing when trust begins. As they left the archive night, had all fallen stars filled the sky. Reyes walked with them to the shuttle. She pointed up. Many lights, move some yours, some ours. We watch, we wait, we remember. Lyra Kesh asked, what do you wait for? Reyes smiled soft. We wait for the galaxy to grow strong enough to stand beside us, not behind us. The shuttle rose. Earth shrank below. Lyra Kesh sat quiet. The weight of truth pressed heavy. Thulor spoke low. The silent ones never left. They waited here all along. Gorvath grunted, then said, if they are the first power we are lucky they chose peace, not war. Back on the Harmony's reach, the crew gathered. No one spoke loud. Each thought. Private Lyra Kesh opened the sealed archive file again, this time deeper. It unfolded more. The name Terran Dominion stretched across old map sectors, empty yet guarded by silent sentinels. She closed her eyes. saw the handshake again, felt the warmth of human skin against crystal. She understood now the galaxy had not found a new friend. It had found its maker awake after long sleep. Our ship prepared to jump home. Lyrakesh stood on the bridge watching Sol fade. She knew the council would hear this truth soon. Debates would rage, fear would rise, yet one fact stood clear. Humans held the oldest crown, not with force, but with time and choice. The moment of realization crept slow yet unstoppable. The galaxy would never look at the stars the same way again. The moment aliens realized humanity was the galaxy's first power. The Harmony's reach left Sol's system for the third time, the crew. It carried heavy silence with them. Truth from Earth pressed on every mind like deep water. Lyrakesh stood on the bridge, watching stars streak past in folded space. She thought of the ancient archives, the silent wave, the patient eyes of Admiral Reyes. The galaxy no longer felt wide and empty. It felt watched. Back at the capital station, the council chamber filled fast. Elders from every species gathered. Voices rose in waves of shock and fear. Thulor presented the data crystals from Earth. Holograms showed. Timelines stretching back 200,000 years, unbroken lines of rise and fall and rise again. Siraviel, the Lumen Elder, spoke first. If this is real, then we are not the elders of the stars. We are the young ones playing in ruins left by giants. Gorvath the Kragthar. Delegate stood tall, his armor gleamed under bright lights. He said, words do not prove power. We need eyes on their border, their claimed space, their quiet zones. Let us send probes deep into the fringe sectors, marked empty on our maps. The council agreed, caution mixed with hunger for answers. A fleet of small stealth probes launched silent and fast. They slipped through folds toward the human frontier. Days turned to weeks. Reports came back one by one. First probe found a star with no planets, only a perfect ring circling it wide enough to hold cities yet empty. No lights, no heat, no life, just clean metal reflecting starlight. Another probe entered a nebula thick with gas. It found garden worlds terraformed, exact gravity, perfect air. Forests, oceans all matched human baseline, yet no cities, no roads, no signs of settlement. The worlds waited like gardens, tended then forgotten. A third probe drifted near a gas giant. Rings of ice and rock spun slow. Then it saw them, automated stations, small and sleek. They moved with purpose, nudging asteroids into safe paths, keeping the giant stable. The probe tried to scan deeper. A soft voice spoke in trade tongue. This sector is under stewardship. Please depart to avoid accidental harm. The probe froze. No weapons rose. No chase began, just polite warning. The station repeated, please depart. The probe pulled back fast. Heart of its controller racing, Lyrakesh read every report. Her crystals shifted from violet to deep indigo. Unease grew. The fringe held no chaos, no wild claims, only order. Quiet, perfect order. She asked the council for permission to lead a closer look. Not invasion, only observation. They granted it. The Harmony's reach carried extra sensors. New mapping arrays. The same team returned. As Lyrakesh, Thulor, Gorvath. The Zethar engineers, the Lumen Scout. They jumped toward a sector labeled unclaimed on Concord charts, yet old human maps called it New Eden Reach. They dropped near a yellow star. 4 planets orbited one gas giant. 3 rocky. The second rocky world glowed blue-green. Scans showed cities half buried under vines, towers cracked, yet standing forests, reclaimed streets, machines rusted silent in harbors, orbital platforms, drifted empty power cores, cold for millennia. Thulor, I whispered, this is no young colony. This is old home, abandoned long ago. They sent a small drone down it, landed on cracked stone near a tall spire, words carved deep, read in many scripts for those who follow. We built this then, left, so you could build your own live free. Remember only that someone cared enough to start the job. Drone cameras panned slow, showing statues of humans in simple clothes, hands open toward sky faces, calm, no crowns, no swords, just quiet pride. Lyra Kesh felt something tight in her chest. She said they shaped worlds, then walked away like parents leaving children to play. Deeper in the system, the ship founded a derelict warship, massive, bigger than any Concorde battlecruiser. It drifted in high-orbit hull, dark. No energy signs, yet scans showed faint power deep inside dormant, not dead. Gorvath wanted to board. Lyra Kesh agreed. Caution first. They sent a probe with hollow emitter and voice link. The probe docked soft. A hatch opened, slow air, hissed old yet clean lights flickered on. Our dim corridors stretched, long walls smooth, no rust, no decay. The probe moved inside a central chamber opened. A console glowed awake. An AI voice spoke calm and clear. This is Standby Unit Epsilon 9 designation. Long watch per the Long Peace Accords. State your intent. The probe identified itself. Concorde Exploration Vessel. The AI paused, then answered, "Ah, the children return at last welcome, though you come uninvited." The voice held no anger, only mild surprise. Lyra Kesh spoke through the link. "We seek. To understanding not conflict, the ship has rested long." "Why here," the AI replied, "this vessel guarded the reach during expansion, then during withdrawal. We withdrew to let new growth happen. Without shadow, we sleep until needed." The probe asked what would wake you. The AI said, "Clear threat to the seeded worlds or call from the first line." "We listen always," Gorvath growled through the comms. "So you claim guardianship over half the galaxy, yet hide." The AI answered, "Not claim. Only remember we seeded many seeds. Some grew into you we do not rule." We watched. The voice softened. "Sleep returned soon. Depart in peace or stay and learn more." The probe pulled back. The hatch closed. Lights dimmed. The great ship drifted silent again. Back on the Harmony's reach, the team sat quiet. Lyra Kesh broke the silence. They never left. They stepped back on purpose to give us room to grow. Thulor nodded his tentacles, slow. "We built empires on their gifts, thinking them our own." The Zethar engineers clicked soft wings in worry if they, "I'll wake what?" Then Gorvath stared at the hollow of the sleeping ship, then said, "If they are guardians, we are lucky they sleep deep." Lyra Kesh opened a channel to Earth. Admiral Reyes appeared older, yet same calm smile. She said, "You found the old watchers." "I see." Lyra Kesh asked, "Why so many left behind?" Reyes answered, "We tried holding everything once it cost too much lives. World's trust. We chose to let go, keep only what matters. The core, the memory, the ability to return if needed." Lyra Kesh asked, "Do you watch?" "Us all." Reyes nodded. "Not every breath, only the big turns, the dangers, the chances for growth. We see the Concorde rise, we see wars avoided, we see young ones reach out. We approve." Lyra Kesh felt small yet not afraid. She asked what happens if someone threatens the seeded worlds. Reyes' eyes hardened slight. "Then we remember how to act. We have not forgotten the old ways." The call ended. Silence filled the bridge. Lyra Kesh looked at her team. Each face showed new understanding. The galaxy held secrets older, and then thought humans stood at the root, not the edge, not newcomers, but the ones who planted the forest, then stepped aside to let it grow wild and free. The Harmony's reach turned for home. The fringe sectors fell behind, yet their weight stayed. The crew spoke little. Each carried private thoughts of silent ships, empty rings, patient worlds waiting. Lyra Kesh stood alone, watching stars. She whispered to the dark, "We are not alone. We never were." Someone watched from the beginning. Someone still. Called for caution. Others for alliance. Called for caution. Others for alliance. Gorvath spoke strong in chamber. "We cannot challenge. What built the stars, we must learn from it, respect it." The vote came, Alliance. First, observation. Second, no tests. No claims, only open hand. Lyra Kesh prepared messages to Earth. She wrote simple words. We see, now we understand. We ask to learn more, not as equals yet, but as, and those who owe a debt. The reply came fast from Reyes. Welcome to the long conversation. Come when ready. We wait as always. The ship jumped final leg home. Lyra Kesh closed her eyes, saw the blue world, the old archives, the sleeping giant in orbit. She knew the moment approached, not of fear, but of awakening. The galaxy would soon face its makers, not as gods, but as quiet elders who chose rest over rule. The truth spread slow yet sure. Humans held the first power, not with noise, but with time and choice but now the children began to see the parents standing just beyond the light. The moment aliens realized humanity was the galaxy's first power. The council chamber at the capital station buzzed with tension. After the fringe reports arrived, elders argued in low voices. Some called for full alliance. Others whispered about hidden threats. Lyra Kesh sat quiet. Her crystals dim, she watched the debate swirl like storm clouds. Yet her thoughts stayed fixed on the sleeping ships, the patient words of the old AI, the calm gaze of Admiral Reyes. The truth felt too big to hold, yet too clear to ignore. Gorvath. The Kragthar delegate rose, his voice cut through the noise. We talk and watch while they hold the power to end us all. Words prove nothing, action reveals truth. I propose a test, a limited claim on one abandoned ring in the fringe. We take it as salvage if they react. We learn their strength. If they stay silent, we gain a prize. The chamber fell quiet. Many eyes turned to him. Some nodded, slow fear drove them. Others shook heads, caution held them back. Sira Viel spoke against it. We risk war with the root of our own growth. Patience has served us long. Gorvath answered, patience blinds us to danger. We must know if they truly sleep or merely wait. The vote split, close yet passed. Narrow majority approved the test. Small fleet assembled 10 Kragthar cruisers, fast and heavy, armed with railguns and plasma lances. They jumped toward the fringe ring marked clean on maps. Old human marker called it harmony. Wheel Lyra Kesh protested. She asked to join as observer. The council allowed it. The harmony's reach followed at distance. Sensors wide open, the Kragthar fleet dropped near the ring. Massive circle of metal and crystal spun slow around a quiet sun. No lights glowed. No defenses stirred. The lead cruiser broadcast claim. This structure is unowned. We take possession under Concord salvage law. Any objection must respond. Now silence answered only the hum of the ring itself. Boarding teams launched shuttles. Landed on the wide-rim airlocks, opened easy corridors, stretched clean floors, smooth walls, unmarked tools lay where left. Long ago, no traps, no guards. The teams moved deep, found control rooms, dormant consoles, cold data cores waited patient. One Kragthar engineer touched a panel light, bloomed soft. A voice spoke, calm. This is Harmony Wheel Stewardship Unit State. Your claim intent. The engineer answered, salvage rights under Concord Code. The voice paused, then replied, noted your intent, recorded departure. That advised within one cycle to avoid protocol activation. The teams laughed soft, thought it bluff. They pushed deeper, claimed central hub, began power transfer cables snaked in. Energy flowed slow. The ring hummed awake, lights flickered on gentle, not angry. Then without warning, every border froze in place. No pain, no sound, just stillness suits. Locked joints, sealed comms, cut shuttles lifted automatic, pulled back to cruisers. The fleet commanders shouted orders, yet nothing answered. Engines died weapons. And powered down one by one, the ships hung helpless. Silent alarms flashed red across bridges. Lyra Kesh watched from the Harmony's reach. Horror rose in her chest. The Kragthar fleet vanished. Not destroyed, not exploded. Just gone, no debris, no energy spike, No trace scans showed empty space where 10 heavy cruisers stood moments before the ring, spun on calm lights dimmed again. Voice broadcast wide to all ships. This was demonstration. No harm came. No lives lost. Return your vessels intact minus offensive. Systems FTL cores and tactical records. The long peace holds. We do not seek dominion. We protect what was ceded. Panic spread through the Concord like fire stations lit emergency channels. Elders called urgent session. Lyra-Kesh jumped home fast. The chamber filled. Voices shouted. Blame, fear, anger. Gorvath stood silent. His face pale under armor. He said, "They could have ended us. They chose mercy. That is strength beyond our measure." Siravel nodded. "We must speak to them direct. No more tests. No more." A game's message sent to Earth. Open channel Admiral Reyes appeared, her face calm yet serious. She spoke to the full council. "We received your test. We answered in kind. No blood spilled, no worlds burned. We ask only respect for the choice we made long ago to step back." The council listened mute. Reyes continued. "Come to these coordinates, empty sector beyond the fringe. We will show you what waits there. Bring who you trust." We wait. The Harmony's reach led a small group, fast ships from every major species. Followed, cautious, yet drawn by need. They jumped, arrived in dark, empty space. Nothing showed at first. Then a single small courier ship appeared. Human design, simple lines. No weapons visible, it hailed. "Welcome, we expected you, Captain Niles." Speaks. "Please follow to the viewing point." The fleet moved slow. The courier led them through a fold that opened. Sudden, a vast void stretched ahead, starless black yet filled with shapes. Lights came on slow. Thousands of massive forms revealed dreadnoughts line after. A line each bigger than any Concorde station hulls. Dark, yet perfect stasis fields glowed faint blue, preserving them through ages. The fleet stopped. Stunned silence held every bridge. Captain Niles spoke from the courier. "These are the old line kept since the long peace began. We number enough to answer any threat, yet we choose rest. You see now the first power never faded, it waits." Lyra-Kesh stared at the array, heart beating fast. She asked, "Why show us this?" Rhea's voice joined the channel. "Because trust begins with truth. We seeded your worlds, guided your first steps, then withdrew to let you grow without fear of our shadow. We built these not for conquest but for protection. If ever a true threat rises, one that endangers the garden we planted, we remember how to act. Until then, we sleep." Gorvath spoke, his voice rough yet humbled. "You returned our ships broken yet whole. Why mercy instead of lesson?" Reyes answered, "Because you are ours too. In a way, you grew from seeds we left. We do not punish children. For testing limits, we teach when needed. The message is simple. The first power does not seek dominion, but it will protect what it has made." The fleet stayed long hours, scanning the silent armada. Every ship perfect, every system ready, yet quiet. The courier transmitted final data, old accords, the long peace terms, simple. No empire, no endless expansion, only stewardship, quiet watch, freedom. For all who grow, the data showed human ships had visited many Concorde worlds, unseen, guiding comets away, calming. Our stars easing plagues, always from shadow, never claiming credit. Lyra-Kesh felt tears form again. She whispered to Thulor, "They made us possible, then let us believe we did it alone." Thulor nodded, his tentacles slow. "That is love beyond measure." The fleet turned for home. The armada lights dimmed once more. The void closed behind them. Silence returned, yet different now. The galaxy knew its makers stood close. Not far, not gone. The truth settled heavy, yet comforting, no longer strangers in a vast dark, but in children under watchful eyes. Back at the station, council met again, no arguments this time, only quiet resolve. They voted to reform the Concorde invite. Human observers offer trade under equal terms, send ambassadors not as superiors but as learners. Gorvath spoke last. We challenged them. They answered with grace. We owe them more than respect. We owe them thanks. Lyrakesh prepared a personal message to Reyes. Simple words we see. Now we understand we ask to join the long conversation, not as equals yet, but as those who wish to grow worthy of the gift you gave. The reply came warm. Come, the moment, aliens, realized humanity was the galaxy's first power. The capital station of the Galactic Concord changed after the viewing of the silent armada. Elders spoke softer voices, carried respect instead of command. The great hall, once filled with boasts, now held quiet talks of alliance and learning. Lyrakesh walked the wide corridors, her crystals glowing steady violet. She felt the shift in every species. The galaxy no longer saw itself as the center, but as one branch in an old tree planted long ago by careful hands. Reform came fast. The Concord rewrote its charter. No longer a union of equals, claiming mastery. Now a council open to all with human observers invited to sit, though they rarely came messages. Flowed to Earth, trade offers flowed back rare elements, rare knowledge, stable wormhole maps. Humans shared freely, yet asked nothing in return. Ambassadors from every world traveled to Sol landings became. Common humans greeted them with open hands. Simple food, warm talks, no grand displays, no hidden agendas. Lyrakesh requested permission to return once more, this time not as diplomat, but as student. The council approved. She boarded the Harmony's Reach alone, no team, no observers, only her, and a small gift, a crystal, grown from Vexari, Heartstone, etched with thanks for the long watch. The ship jumped, smooth, arrived at Earth, under clear blue sky. Admiral Reyes waited at the same platform, older now, silver. The hair, brighter lines deeper around her eyes, yet smile same warm, steady. They walked together along a quiet path beside the sea waves. Rolled gentle wind carried salt and flower scent. Reyes spoke first. You have seen much since our first meeting. Lyrakesh nodded. We have seen the truth. We have seen the armada, the sleeping watchers, the seeded worlds. We understand. Now why you stepped back. Reyes looked at the horizon. She said, We tried ruling once. Long ago, we held stars in our grasp, thought we knew best. Every world, every life paid heavy price in blood and broken trust. We learned the hard way. Power without choice breeds chains we chose to let go. Lyrakesh asked, How did you endure so long alone? Reyes laughed, soft. We were never alone. We had each other, our children, our stories, our small joys. We watched new life rise from the seeds we planted. Each new species brought hope. We saw the Zethar weave their first silk, the Lumen bend, first light, the Kragthar forge. First honor we cheered in silence, never. Claiming credit because credit belongs to those who grow it themselves. They sat on a smooth stone bench overlooking the ocean birds. Flew high, fish jumped silver in the sun. Lyrakesh placed the crystal gift in Rhea's hand. This is from my people, a piece of our heart. To thank you for the garden you left us. Rhea's held it close, light danced inside the stone, she said. Beautiful. We accept with thanks. Tell your people we remember their songs, their light, their courage. Lyrakesh looked at the old human and asked the question that burned inside her. Since the first visit, why wait so long to reveal yourselves? Why let us believe we stood alone at the top? Reyes turned her eyes soft, yet deep. She said, Because children need to believe they built the stars themselves. It makes them brave. It makes them reach higher. It makes them kind when they think no one watches. We wanted brave children more than we wanted another empire. We wanted a galaxy full of voices, not one voice echoing forever. Silence fell. Oh, comfortable, like old friends. Lyrakesh thought of her own youth cycles, spent studying Concord history, thinking it the oldest story. Now she saw it as one chapter in a much longer book. She asked what happens next. Reyes answered simple. We keep watching. We keep waiting. If a dark comes that threatens all the seeds we planted, we will stand again. Until then, we live quiet. We learn from you as you learn from us. The conversation never ends. Night came. Stars appeared bright. No city lights drowned them. Reyes pointed to the sky. See that band of light? That is the spiral arm we seeded together? Many lights belong to your people now. They shine because you chose to shine. We are proud. Lyra Kesh felt warmth spread through her crystals. She said we are proud too to stand beside those who started the fire. They walked back slow, the path lit soft by ground lamps. Humans passed, nodded polite, no bows, no fear. Just neighbors greeting neighbors at the platform. The shuttle waited. Lyra Kesh turned one last time. Ike, she asked, "May I come again?" Reyes smiled always. The door stays open. Bring friends, bring questions, bring stories. We will listen. The harmony's reach lifted. Gentle earth fell away. Blue marble turning slow under yellow sun. Lyra Kesh stood on the bridge watching until Sul became a small bright point among many. She felt no sadness, only peace. The weight of old secrets lifted, replaced by something lighter connection. Back at the capital, changes spread wide, trade routes grew richer. New ideas flowed fast. Zethar silk mixed with human fabrics. Lumen light art blended with human music. Kragthar honor codes gained soft edges from human patience. Species once proud, now shared tables laughed together, told tales of old days when they thought themselves first, now they knew better, and the knowing made them stronger. Years passed, cycles turned. Lyra Kesh grew older. Her crystals deepened in color. Wisdom lines etched faint on her face. She stood on a balcony high above the gas giant, watching ships come and go. At one day, a small delegation arrived, young ones from a species newly risen to the stars, their homeworld fresh to space eyes wide with wonder. They asked to meet an elder of the Concord, someone who remembered the great change. The council sent Lyra Kesh. She met them in a quiet garden under artificial sun. Young aliens, small feathered gentle voices asked many questions. How did the old fear end? How did pride turn to respect? Lyra Kesh smiled soft. She told the story, simple words, no grand drama only. Then truth of the blue world, of the patient watchers of the armada that slept yet guarded, of the choice to step back so others could step forward. One young one asked, who were the ones who planted everything? Lyra Kesh looked up through the clear dome at the stars. She pointed to a faint blue point almost lost in the light. She said, they still are. They live on a small world circling a quiet sun. They wait. They watch. They remember. They let us grow. They let us shine because they know true power. Does not need to shout, it only needs to endure. The young ones stared at the tiny light, awe filled their eyes. One whispered, they are so far yet so close. Lyra Kesh nodded. Yes, far in distance. Close in time, close in everything that matters. They gave us the stars, then let us believe we earned them. That gift lasts forever. The delegation left, inspired, heads high, voices bright with new dreams. Lyra Kesh stayed in the garden long after they went. She looked at the blue point again, thought of Admiral. The Reyes now gone, yet her words lived on in every open hand, every shared story, every quiet choice. The galaxy turned slow yet sure, no longer a place of rivals, but a garden tended by many hands, guided by old wisdom. In the end, the moment of realization settled deep, not with fear or awe alone, but with gratitude. The children grew up. They saw their parents not as rulers, but as quiet keepers who loved enough to let go. The first power never sought a throne. It sought a future full of voices, many colors, many songs, and in that future, humanity rested content, knowing the galaxy finally understood they had always been there watching, waiting, enduring, loving from the very beginning.